Hey Forrest, sorry I've been out of touch. I've been in a very dark place. I uh, I stopped using cannabis 2 weeks ago because I got sick of it. I got sick of always being high. And, after a while you just use more, and I was just using it all the time. I'm like one of those people on the street that you're always like, you know, and I just got sick of it, sick of myself. And although it's not in the same class of drug that you use to kill yourself. Hey.
Hey boss, I'm running to the bank. Need me to get you anything? I'll be back.
All right. I just knew that I was abusing it, and also alcohol. Like, not so much this year, but the year before, I was drinking myself into less pain, and it doesn't really work. But what happened is I started dreaming and thinking clearer and feeling like a lot more, and stuff that I was not particularly comfortable with in some way, because my I my cycle, I guess, I turned a lot of my grief into myself, like harming myself, abusing myself, hating myself, hating you for what you did. And and then I started hating the drug dealers. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been having murderous fantasies about killing the drug dealers in my neighborhood, and kind of feeling good about that, if I could get away with it. I once was out in the morning and I saw this piece of shit drug dealer about to sell to some young kid who was out there at like 2 in the morning, and he was just some clueless frickin' kid. And I talked to him and I told him to beat it, because he said, I don't have to leave. I'm not doing anything wrong. I said, it's not about that. It's just about your health and your safety. And there was a snowstorm, and I heard him say, okay, and started to walk away. And then that piece of shit drug dealer saw him from up the block and yelled out. And yeah, I think I said this in another video and pointed out my house. And I wish I had a bat, because I would have beat that motherfucker to death. And those are dark, dark feelings. And they came back. And all you need to do is like troll YouTube for these human pieces of garbage that do this. Even Charlie Parker said, people that prey on children like that should be shot. And I agree. Because they won't stop. They don't want to work. They don't want to do good things. They want easy money. And they don't see an issue. You know, you hear them say, well, if they don't get it from me, they'll get it from somebody else. So that's how they equivocate and rationalize and lie to themselves and whatever else they do. I was a drug dealer. I sold pot. And I guess that's drugs, but it didn't kill anybody. And the worst thing, God damn it, that I thought could happen is that, you know, people might write a few songs. But I got sick of it then too, because I started seeing that the people I was selling marijuana to over time were not really getting their lives together. They weren't really confronting their problems, and they weren't really growing. And neither was I. You know. So there is a drug connection with marijuana, and some of the marijuana users that I've known in my life were just insidious, ridiculous pot users, just smoking lots of weed all the time to the point where it's their whole life. But I could deal with, potheads. I wouldn't hire one. Not a super stoner, not an idiot stoner who doesn't understand how to find some balance. But I would never hire an alcoholic. I don't even know if I'd want to break my heart over a cigarette smoker, because it's just another insidious addiction. But forget it with, heroin and meth and whatever, crack, coke. So yeah, I've been spending my time fantasizing, and maybe a little bit more than that, about how to harm these people. And that started to hurt me, because I learned that once you start thinking like this, I get very angry. And, the extent of my weapons is, just things like knives and, a practice knife. They have guns. So I've never been a gun person. But after you watch some of these self-defense videos of people that defended their lives against other, let's just say, armed people, and shot them, either to injury or to death, that you start to see, man, that's the only equalizing weapon. You can get lucky. You can disarm somebody. One guy stabbed a gun holder, or, there are some instances of that, but most of the time, whoever has the gun is in way, better position than someone who doesn't. So I looked into getting a gun and what that meant. And I know what it means to me. It meant finding those drug dealers in my neighborhoods and shooting them, because that's what they deserve. Having looked at other people doing a little bit of this themselves, because I'm not unique, anybody who's had these type of dealers kill their children or have a hand in it probably has these fantasies. Anyway, it started to poison me. I wasn't able to train effectively because I was exhausted and very unhappy. And it's crazy. When you start getting into that, it gets crazy in your mind. I couldn't play the guitar. I didn't play for, I don't know, a week and a half, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when I was practicing hours a day and then considering giving up music because it didn't have anything to do with revenge directly. Like, I can write songs, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to write lyrics about junkies and dealers and fuck that. I want to take these people out of the gene pool. And it's not a racist thing. A lot of the dealers around here are black, but there's plenty of white pieces of shit and every color in between, and Asia and fucking Mexico. They're all, it's the same personality though. Yeah. And I hate it that they get away with it. And they don't care. I see your face when I talk like this. I see your face. Anyway, I told my wife where I was at, and she knows I was serious. But I also have to acknowledge that it's sickening. You know, it's poisonous. I don't know what I'll do about it yet, but this is how I feel. So 2 weeks of no marijuana. It's pretty sweet. A lot of dreams. My thoughts are coming back. Practicing the guitar again. I took it too far a little bit and felt where it was going. And I want to avenge you. I want to avenge your death, because I know that you had a big part in this, but the drug dealers normalize it and they create those like fetishized relationships that are pseudosexual, you know, that you have a little private connection to your drug dealers, and in a way that you don't to your parents and your loved ones, and they have something to offer you that you want that no one else has, but that they also prey upon you, and they don't deserve the wads of money. I saw this piece of shit in the corner bodega. He yanked out of his pocket like a roll of thousands of dollars. I know he did not earn that honorably. I felt murder, justified murder, in my heart. Whew. So I want to let that go a little bit. You know, I want to ponder nature. and detox a little bit from my hate. I'm going to have dinner with your sister tonight and her partner, and I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm going to Nevis, where I spread your ashes, some of your ashes. I thought that would be a beautiful experience, but it was horrifying because they covered me. I had your ashes all over my clothing and hair, and I don't have hair, but all over me. And I saw little pieces of your bones. And I thought, what a fucking waste of what you could have been. You were truly, truly wonderful. Full of wonder and grace and kindness. You were an awesome son, not a good one, an incredible one. Except for this. So, see, I feel it come back. And and I know there's a thing in our culture where we're not supposed to judge and things like that, but my hate is justified. And people that forgive are often just doing it out of this rote, feel-good, utilitarian, religious nonsense. It's a war, and these assholes replace themselves very easily because of their ethos. Anyway, I almost gave up playing because when I was smoking, I wasn't smoking, but using cannabis oil, I could shut out my feelings and just work on the material. But I wasn't connected. And I don't want to die high. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my life yet, or how I'm supposed to respond to this, or what I can tell people, because I truly feel and believe that I cannot help a single junkie make that switch. That they're going to do it until they decide it's not good for them. It's not about anything I can do for you. And I certainly can't dissuade drug dealers from doing what they're doing because they have no soul, no real soul, or they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. Because they know it's killing people, and they're overlooking that ignorance. They're ignorant, yeah, ignorance, willfully ignorant. I miss you. So much. Thank you for listening.